Hello from the Hashknife. We've been a little quiet lately, partly because there hasn't been a lot to really report on or share with everybody. It's been cold, it's been miserable, and we've just simply been surviving and trying to make sure that the cows have enough feed and that we can get to where we need to go. Meanwhile, as you can see in my business attire, I also have the job. So trying to balance the new job with being on the ranch and helping stuff out makes things difficult. But that doesn't mean I'm not involved. I'm helping out as much as I can, and of course we're also doing a lot of inside work that really has nothing to do with the ranch. It's mostly just the living space. But I do want to share one of the greatest views that I get every day when I drive home. That right there. It's a long, narrow road, but off to the side here, if I zoom in, I get to look at these beautiful mountains as I go down the highway. Isn't that cool? Absolutely beautiful. They're way out there, and it looks further than it is in real life just because of the lens, but I get to enjoy this drive, kind of listen to books, do whatever I want, and look out at scenery and enjoy the views that this beautiful state has to offer.
So the sound you hear is the pickup running up on top of this ridge in about 15 below wind chill, because I'm not shutting it off. I want to stay warm. But here come the girls. I've got a couple of bales out, and they weren't wanting to move because they were tucked behind a hill there out of this slight wind. It's only about 5 miles an hour or so, but it takes that 5 below to about 15 below. So now they're going to come up here, refuel, and get a little bit warmer. So we'll just kind of watch them when they poke their heads up out of the draw here and come to a couple bales, and I got one more bale to feed out and make these girls happy. I've laid out grass hay on that end. That's a bale, about 1,250 pounds, and then flaked off a bale of the alfalfa right here. And then I'm going to go get one more, and it'll extend out into here so that we've got a line of feed for the girls, and they can munch whatever they want.
So as you can see from all the snow, we just got out of a pretty deep freeze. Actually, a series of freezes that were below zero and had a lot of snow. We were busy keeping the horses out of the cattle guards, cleaning them regularly, and we actually had so much snowfall that Dad had to move them out of the normal pasture with the 2 cattle guards on the sides and into the calving pasture. And so we've been actually more focused on trying to keep livestock just sustained in general than anything else. Nothing super fancy has been going on at the ranch. However, that's not to say that there's some misconceptions going on out there. People have been wondering, what are we doing? Are we okay? Is Calen around? Yeah, I am. I'm still here. Just got a whole lot busier. That's all. That's what happens when you get a job. Unfortunately, I'm learning the hard way how difficult it was with Dad and Grandpa to manage a full-time job for so long and do the ranch at the same time. Thankfully, I have Dad to do a lot of the work while I'm gone. And then on my days off or before work, after work, I'm able to help out here and there. But like I said before, we're also doing some of the small projects in the house. And so that's why we haven't really been showing anything. But today we just finished feeding cows this morning over some really sloppy roads. Again, we were trying to manage the roads with the deep freeze and now the thawing out. Now that we're in the 40s, the roads are getting very slick and slippery and mucky. Well, it happens to be really good timing because we did see some cows today. They're starting to get more mucus. They're starting to get a little bit of those bags forming. So we are right at the beginning of calving season. We usually calve anywhere between a month and a half to 2.5 months later than a lot of other people. A lot of others will start at the beginning of January, anywhere up to the beginning of February. We're looking at about the beginning of March to mid-March. Part of that's because, like I just said, we just had some really bad freezes. So now we should be coming out onto the thawing stage, so to speak, into the early part of spring. And it should be a whole lot easier on those baby calves when they are born, and a lot less likelihood of having any frozen tails or ears. I actually came across some people recently that were like, I thought you were running the ranch. Why are you working in town? Well, I've never said I was going to be running the ranch. I think that's probably something that we've explained. Like over time, I'd like to take it over, but uh, Dad's the main man in charge. He makes the decisions. He makes things happen. We are focused on taking care of these critters at all times, whatever that might be. My personal abilities, work related or anything else, has nothing to do with their welfare. Yes, I would like to do this full time, but again, part of the ranching is that's not possible in in this day and age with the amount of land that we have. It's very small. We're not able to do that. It's not a big operation. We don't have hired hands. I am the hired hand, so to speak, and I live here for a very small minimum rent fee every month. Other than that, yeah, I'm the hired hand. I'm just learning that I have to kind of manage my time a little bit better. And that doesn't mean I won't be making more videos. I'm still going to be trying to make videos as regularly as possible. The only problem is that, unfortunately, we just haven't had a lot to show recently. So I'll have to plan a little bit more. This is still rewarding. This is still enjoyable. I still like doing this. I do want to take over the ranch one day, but today's not that day. I'm not the guy in charge. It's my dad, and my mom makes a lot of the advisory decisions. I am part of the board of the LLC. My brother's part of the board, as is my grandmother. You just got to remember that um, you don't just like, it's not as simple as somebody just taking over. There's a process to it. And of course, there can always be family or business drama that's involved as well. I would like to think that we won't have that, but that doesn't mean that it won't happen. Just things like that occur that it makes transitions from in agriculture, from a farm or a ranch to one generation to the next to the next. It makes that difficult, and you can find that a lot on social media, especially if you're on X. There's a lot of conversations that I see a lot of the times where people, they thought they had something figured out, and it just doesn't happen because somebody comes in and changes the whole situation when somebody else dies. Unfortunately, those are some of those discussions and those topics that nobody really wants to discuss. This is kind of a step towards that transition from one generation to another, but that also doesn't guarantee I'll get to have this place as the thing that I'm running with alongside my brother one day. It could turn into a complete cluster and I have to walk away, unfortunately. I don't want that to ever happen, but that's a very likely possibility as well. So you can look on one spectrum of, oh, everything's perfect. One day he's going to take over, or everything's not perfect and he's going to lose everything that he's known his entire life as something that's important to him. This is just part of what it is to be on a ranch in modern agriculture, I guess. You can blame that on politics. You can blame that on personalities. You can blame that on socioeconomic issues. It's a multitude of things. But yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying around as long as I'm allowed and willing to. The willingness is definitely there. The allowance is something else. Maybe one day we'll see. But yeah, I'm still around. It's slow. It's wintertime. That's what happens. But we're doing a lot of small projects that, like I said, aren't part of the ranch themselves. They're part of more of the family unit. So we just haven't been sharing that. But we appreciate everybody's concern. We're glad everybody sticks around. And stay tuned. We will be regularly posting about calving season coming up very soon. We're going to be starting to get things wound up, get it all ready, prep, and be feeding in a totally different area on the ranch and starting to do that process of going from one pasture to the other as the cows calve and we get little ones running around. We enjoy sharing this life and doing everything that we can to make sure everybody knows like what we're doing. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's a little stress induced because we're trying to stop, start, and get all of our things recorded so that everybody can see that. But this is an example of kind of what's happening in the house. It's like I said, the living area. It's just stuff like that is very time consuming and it has nothing to do with the ranch. But we enjoy sharing this as much as we possibly can, and we do our best. I do my best. Sometimes I get help, other times I don't. And a lot of times I'm the one person filming. So it does make it difficult when it's one person doing it. And so it just takes a lot of extra time. I will apologize. I try to be more regular. We used to be very regular with our episodes. Now we're kind of more frazzled to an extent, but I'm working through it. I'm trying to find a good rhythm so that I can support not only our channel, but then especially our viewers. People I feel are invested in watching and seeing us grow and continue this legacy that we've had for the past century. So I do my best. Sometimes I'm failing. I feel like a lot of times our biggest failures are at the beginning of the year when it's this time, it's very quiet. It's been a long winter, and one, we're tired, and two, it's just prep for a really busy calving season. So thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for always hopping on to our social media and checking out what we're doing. I will continually try to be better, but I can't always guarantee that. So thanks until you're better paid.